I'd like to talk to you today about something that I've been questioning myself a very long time, which is we seem to, from a very early age, be taught about physical things. We are taught about shapes, we are taught about objects, we talk about um, uh, hierarchies of different influence, whether it's government, whether it's councils, whether it's um, your local school. There are different levels of control structures, and they exist to serve and protect. Um, well, does a school actually? It's an interesting question itself. Does a school aim to protect, or does it just aim to educate? There's an expectation that they will protect, that they will teach in a way that is conducive for pro social values, but I'm not sure whether it's explicitly stated in most schools in their values and their principles, whether protection of their children is a aspect that they invest time, money, resources, attention into. And that isn't to uh, saying that isn't to criticize. It's actually, yeah, it's pointing out an area where I'm not sure. Where was I heading? So yeah, we learn about these things, and that's all well and good. But it seemed to me that there was always things that were left out because we talk about things like desks and chairs and um, sentences and ideas, concepts, but we don't talk about where they come from. And we don't really talk about what reality is itself. It's like, it seems like it's an assumed thing of like, oh, reality is reality. Like, it doesn't need to be questioned. We don't need to look at that. However, what I experience is that everybody has their own unique reality that they live within. And we talk about the internet, how it creates bubbles and it creates echo chambers of people living inside their own realities. And I think that is both true and false. In the sense, it's true, they definitely live within their own realities, these echo chambers. However, I think it's false that it created them. I believe that digital echo chambers just mirror back the existing echo chambers. Let's try that again. Digital echo chambers reflect the internal echo chambers of the human psyche. I believe that each person likely carries, or most people likely carry, their own beliefs that echo about in their psyche. Some are helpful, and some are. There's a term maladaptive. I'm not sure if that's appropriate to use here. I like to. I feel like there's a better word to use, which I would probably. Like, there's helpful, and then there is I want a word that captures the way things can subtly backfire without your awareness. Unintended consequences. That's the concept I'm trying to embody in a word. Encapsulate into a word. So how would I unintended consequences? Is helpful, and then there's strategies that have unintended consequences. I won't find a word for that right now. If it's a task that I'll hand over to the collective. If you think of a great word for that, or you know of a great word for that, leave that down below, and I'll check them out. Because yeah, I feel like that would be a great word for me to know. And when I talk about unintended consequences, I mean this is something that's covered off with Joe Hudson and the golden algorithm. It's the way that when people fear something, they invite the thing they fear through that fear itself. I don't think I worded that quite the way Joe Hudson does, but it's a really powerful way of looking at behaviors and the patterns that people often find themselves trapped in. And it's not through them consciously choosing to to do a behavior that results in this outcome that they don't like. It's not a conscious choice, but it's a conscious avoidance of something else that then invites there came the judgment. It's just a wave of judgment of like, oh, I'm breathing on a video. I am showing my humanness with the way I get carried away with what I'm speaking. And I forget to breathe. And now I breathe quite loudly because I get very caught up in the moment, which is something that I am accepting myself. I am also going on the same journey as everyone here. I'm not perfect. I am sharing things that I have learned with the intent that if anyone needs to hear them or seeks it out, that they will be able to find the words that they are looking for that are tailored to the way that their brain may understand them. I know for myself a lot of communication wasn't done in a way that I found helpful for my brain. And so I'm thinking maybe my brain is just different enough that the insights that I have found will be able to help other people with similar brains. That's part of the reason I'm doing this. And because, yeah, like some of these things took a lot of struggle to discover them myself. And I don't want to take the struggle away from anyone else, because like it really does embed these lessons. However, I do want to make the tools available for those who are able to find them once they are ready to give that struggle up. Because there's a difference between struggling because you are consciously choosing to stay in the struggle. Like, I'm not going to do this, versus the struggle of ignorance of like, I I don't know how to fix this, and no one in my community knows how to fix this, and no one on the internet seems to know how to fix this. So that's part of why I'm sharing, because a lot of the things that I have come to myself, I don't see discussed on the internet, which has me thinking like, either people haven't come to these same conclusions, maybe my brain works differently, maybe some of these things are secrets that people don't discuss, maybe because they come with struggles, people don't want to own up or admit to their struggles, and so they don't want to share them. Like, I don't really know what the reason is, but I know that it feels good to share, and it feels good to say these things. Um, Back to the original train of thought. uh, we talk about surface level things a lot, and I think we tend to shy away from talking about the things that matter in changing reality. I don't say that lightly, because when you talk about the surface, you can change the surface. You can pick up a mouse and you can move it around. You can type on a keyboard and you can change surface level things with surface level approaches. But if you want to change something like personality, if there is a character trait that you have that you don't like about yourself, but you find yourself consistently behaving in that way, the only way that you will be able to address it is by either changing your thoughts, your feelings, or your beliefs. Like, these are the three things that actually form the structure of our personality. And when we change those and we align those, it's really powerful. And our whole world will change, not through conscious effort, but through like a result of modifying the structure that was creating that reality in the first place. And so, yeah, I don't think this is talked about very much. Maybe because of the potent potential it really has. Because you can change your life so quickly by doing the uncomfortable thing and feeling the emotions and going through it and being able to be vulnerable enough to share your emotions. But I say vulnerable, I don't actually like that term. I don't think it's vulnerable to share your emotions. Like, it's brave. Oh, it's brave. Because I feel like those imply that there's a challenge to it. Like, the vulnerability won't be met with softness or gentleness or with like a loving embrace. And that isn't my experience. It's maybe the experience of others. I don't want to dismiss that possibility. But what I've found is that when I am truly vulnerable with someone, it is always met with vulnerability, with tenderness, with care. But if I come at something with defensiveness or with an attack, then that is met with that same energy. Like, people will mirror back the energy in which you give it. Um, that's all I have for now. Um, Thank you for listening. If you got this far, this is a very raw format, which I think could be helpful. It might be a bit jarring to see me go through this thought process, but it might not. And I am open to hearing about it. So, thank you for coming, and subscribe if you want to come along next time as I share more about life